Week 7, we had the tale of two heads. Jamal Williams celebrates like a character from Mad Max after his helmet was speared clean off his face, completely unaffected by that hit like a video game character. And then many across the league criticized Andy Dalton for not showing the same type of enthusiasm after taking this dirty hit from Washington linebacker John Bostic. Mr. Boom Bostic was ejected, but will not be suspended for that hit. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The most dangerous job in sports is Cowboys QB Perna. It seems like playing quarterback for Dallas this year has similar occupational hazards to such jobs as building the pyramids or action movie henchman. Andy Dalton did not twist his foot like a pretzel, but after that hit, he probably wondered what the hell he was doing in a Cowboys uniform, why Washington wasn't called the Redskins anymore, and why there weren't any fans at their stadium. Okay, maybe that last one he wasn't wondering about, but that hit was brutal. Today, we will recap the best and the worst from NFL Sunday, and I will deliver my prestigious BDP awards for top NFL performers. Whew. Please, I would love it if you just subscribe to this YouTube channel, and then I never want to hear from you again. Today's episode is sponsored by Roman. Now, did you ever imagine that we could live in a world where going to getroman.com/thatsgood could help you with erectile dysfunction? Like many of my jokes on this show, it can be awkward or embarrassing to talk about erectile dysfunction. Roman.com fixes both of those things for you by providing a discreet, straightforward process to meet with a healthcare professional to help find you the best treatment plan possible. I just had a baby, so I never want to have sex again. But if a healthy sex life is something eluding you, just go to getroman.com/thatsgood to get $15 off your first order of ED treatment, a free online visit, and free 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/thatsgood for $15 off your first order. getroman.com/thatsgood. And yes, I said it 3 times in a row because you will not find another YouTuber on earth who cares that much about your penis. Okay, let's start with the best game of the weekend. Sunday Night Football. Cards at C's. Kyler Murray had about as impressive of a 5-yard touchdown run as you will witness. The kind that makes defenders want to go into witness protection. Now, he's not winning the award, but Murray had a very big dick-like player performance out souffleing Russ Wilson. Both QBs tossed 3 tugs, but the difference was Wilson's 3 interceptions to Kyler Murray's 1. Worst. Russell Wilson is still the worst goal line passer in NFL history. He's lucky DK Metcalf can sprint for 95 yards and not start puking as he chased down Budda Baker from behind, saving the pick 6. That DK Metcalf tackle was huge because Arizona did not score a touchdown after that, which would have, well, ultimately just won the game sooner for Arizona. Even Budda Baker gave DK a shout out on Twitter for that play. The lesson here, kids, if you never give up, you will still probably lose. Best. Pete Carroll leads the league in coaching. Coaching guys on how to give 2 hand jobs at the same time to 2 men of very different heights. DK and Kyler is probably who he had in mind here. Oh, I'm sorry. When I see some guy doing this, the first thing I think about is jerking 2 wieners. Don't act like that's not the first thing you thought of either. And it's not just Carroll's technique I admire, it's the enthusiasm I appreciate. Best. Short guy stat. Russell Wilson is listed at 5'11" and Kyler Murray at 5'10". This is the first game in the Super Bowl era in which 2 quarterbacks under 6 feet weren't executed in secret by John Elway. And also, 2 guys under 6 who passed for 250 plus yards in the same game. They each actually passed for over 350 by the end, and Murray and Wilson are an inspiration for short kings everywhere. These 2 Napoleons don't combine for 12 feet, but with their own 2 feet combined for 151 rushing yards, 754 passing yards, 7 total touchdowns. If I have a son and find out via Gattaca technology that he will be under 6 feet, I shall name him Rustler Willery Perna. in honor of these two great short men. Best kicker, Zane Hanging Brain Gonzalez was granted sweet redemption. He made the field goal to send this game into overtime, then missed a potential game winner in overtime before nailing the real game winner from 48 yards out with less than 20 seconds left before a tie happened. This was the best Sunday night football game of the season, and it's probably a sign that Arizona is most certainly for reals. Worst, Todd Gurley accidentally scored a touchdown like a real idiot, which was considered to be worse than running out the clock to score the game-winning field goal. Yes, Detroit came back to win this game in amazing fashion, but in no way does Todd Gurley deserve the blame for the loss. If you're a 1-6 football team like the Falcons and you want to blame the guy who scored a touchdown, I think your priorities are a little messed up. Like the surfer who blames the shark for biting him, after that surfer made a pass at that shark's wife. Best, the Lions get penalized on the game-tying touchdown, pushing the PAT back 15 yards, and Matt Prater nails the gooch for the winner. This is why Atlanta lost. They couldn't stop Stafford with a minute left in the game. This was the battle of two teams who can't hang on to a lead, and Atlanta bested Detroit. Best camera angle of the week. The award for achievements in cinematography goes to unnamed man at Falcons game. Roger Deakins himself couldn't have crafted a better shot. It's so perfect, it almost makes the Falcons uniforms look cool. Best, Daniel Jones rushing for a near touchdown all the way back on Thursday Night Football. The infamous run is full of great and terrible stats. His 21.23 miles per hour is the fastest speed reached by any QB since Ben Roethlisberger wrecked his motorcycle. And it's the longest run by a QB without scoring since 1975, and he is the first guy to be tackled by the weight of his own dick since Big Dick Decker himself. Worst, Jacksonville threatened to bench Gardner Minshew if he didn't play well against the Chargers. I thought he played all right, not spectacular, but certainly he is not the problem on Jacksonville's roster. He's definitely not Justin Herbert, but what exactly does benching Gardner accomplish, Saxonville? It's not like Tua is waiting on the bench. No, it's Mike Glennon. This is why the Jags are the Jags, and why they would probably be doing Gardner a favor if they get rid of him. At Smiles and Joy tweeted this, which I thought was brilliant. I just saw Gardner Minshew might get benched for Mike Glennon. The Mike Glennon that got benched for Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky, who was then benched for Nick Foles. The Nick Foles, who was then benched for Gardner Minshew. Full circle. Justin Herbert threw 3 touchdowns in his first ever win, which means he joined Deshaun Watson as the only rookie quarterback in history with 3 or more touchdowns in 3 consecutive games. I love this stat because it reminds us all that Deshaun Watson is still in the league. Best, Aaron Rodgers returned, throwing a bunch of touchdowns and destroying the Texans. Worst, this flea flicker in my Broncos game. This is the worst flea I have ever seen, and I grew up with outdoor dogs, who we never washed, who mated with skunks. Maybe Gordon is still drunk. That's the only excuse I will accept for performing a play that's actually insulting to fleas. Best, the Steelers have Lady Luck on their side. It's the first time a lady has ever been on Ben's side without calling the police afterwards. It is a good thing that while rehabbing from his injury, Big Ben found God, because at the rate he's just flinging up prayers, he needs to be saved. The Steelers are 6-0, the last undefeated team in the league, and they are plus 18 on quarterback sacks this season, and with Deontay Johnson finally healthy, they look however Baker Mayfield thinks he looks when he wakes up. Johnson is so good that Mike Tomlin forgot Chase Claypool was even on the roster. Best, Chase Claypool first downing Malcolm Butler's face right in front of the ref and not getting flagged. If you've got the courage to learn another man's face like you're Ray Charles, you better be balling. Let's check Chase's stats. Worst, Chase Claypool finished the game with 1 reception for -2 yards. Worst, Stephen Gostkowski missing a 45-yard game-tying field goal. Unlike his head coach, Gostkowski can't cut it outside of New England. Best, Zeke Elliott getting blasted on a blitz pickup, which always seems to happen to him against the Washington football team, regardless of the name or no name they have. Worst, the Jets had 4 yards of total offense in the second half as the Bills beat them with 6 field goals. The Bills tried relentlessly to keep them away from Trevor Lawrence. But like this guy from Band of Brothers learned, the tank is far too strong. Worst, OBJ tore his ACL, performing quite possibly the worst tackling attempt we've ever seen since Daniel Jones tackled himself. It really sucks that OBJ is done for the season because he was defending a Baker Mayfield pick, especially doing it the same week DK Metcalf successfully earned near hero status for doing the same damn thing. Myles Garrett continues his quest to become Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not sure anyone is better than him at forcing a fumble almost every single time he drops a quarterback for a sack. Had he actually decapitated Mason Rudolph last year, I think he would have emerged from the pile with Mason's head. Garrett now has 9 sacks on the season, leading the league. Best, Teddy Bridgewater threw a 74-yard touchdown, which looks really easy to do when the Saints secondary forgets to cover DJ Moore. My man Teddy played well in a loss, reminisced with his old friends, and is now 5th in passing yards in the NFL. Worst, 4 of the 5 quarterbacks leading in passing yards have losing records. It's a meaningless stat. Best, let Jared cook. Convection oven, had possibly the catch of the game for the Saints in the corner of the end zone. And the Panthers let Joey Sly attempt a 65-yard field goal with the game on the line. Maybe not the best idea, especially at sea level. Sly is actually an acronym for sea level. You can't be serious. It only works if you say it in the sea captain from The Simpsons voice. Oh God. Did I just stoop to the level of NFL Network reporter?
Ahoy, matey! Take a look at this video.
Uh-oh.
Ahoy, matey!
Worst, Cam Newton got benched after finishing with negative .18 fantasy points. And that's from a quarterback who can run. Worst, Tom Brady, in addition to throwing for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns, was sacked 0 times. The Bucs seem to play their best football, while the Patriots play at their worst. People are starting to settle into the take that Brady was responsible for the Patriots dynasty and not Belichick, rather than the correct take, which is that the Patriots have yet to win a playoff game without Rob Gronkowski. Best, I can say the Raiders are dog shit again. They were very much in this game. Then I looked down to check on my daughter. Looked back up and the Buccaneers had scored 45 points. It gets better for the Raiders as they are supposed to receive a massive COVID violation fine from the league, and there's talk of docking them a draft pick, which they wouldn't have used on a premier pass rusher anyway. Here we are, the one sports segment every NFL player TiVos, the Big Dick Player Awards! The Big Dick QB this week is dancing Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, ooh, 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 ooh.
Who threw 5 touchdowns, including one with 11 seconds to save the day against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Burrow would have won this award with his 406 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, but that will be tough for him as long as his helmet dons the stripes of tigers. What's crazy about this one for Baker is that he started the game 0 for 5 with a pick before throwing 22 completions and 5 tuds. All of this without OBJ, who got hurt on that pick. This is the Baker Mayfield cycle that we know and love. Play poorly, almost get benched, come back, have a great game, call out the haters, and then suck again. I think I did too many things with my fingers. Until you hear him mention either the haters, the chip on his shoulder, or some lie about not paying attention to the outside noise, bet on the Browns. The big dick ball carrier goes to Jeff Wilson, the 49ers fill-in running back who scored 3 touchdowns against the Patriots. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, Wilson was injured, carted off the field on that 3rd touchdown. All of us, though, must sacrifice something in the dismantling of the Patriots dynasty. and Wilson is to be remembered as a great martyr for the cause. But all I want to say is that Jeff Wilson is definitely the name of Brian Wilson's long-lost brother who quit the Beach Boys to sell insurance. Now, I genuinely thought DeVante Adams had the big dick receiver locked up after what he did to the Texans, but then Tyler Lockett dropped 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Cards. In a game where DK Metcalf only caught 2 passes and notched 1 tackle, Lockett hauled in 15, many of them in spectacular fashion. Not the Cam Newton kind of spectacular fashion, more of the toe-dragging kind. Drag fashion. Wait, no, I'm still talking about Tyler, not Cam.
There's nothing good going your way. Why are you dressing like that to bring more attention to yourself? I'd be trying to ask the equipment managers, put me in your Jock sock.
Either way, Tyler Lockett was fucking awesome. Big dig defender goes to Robert Spillane, the Steelers' inside linebacker who sacrificed his body and stood in front of the freight train that is Derrick Henry, and lived to tell the tale. Spillane was filling in for the injured Devin Bush. And if your bush is Spillane out of your underwear, try Manscaped. What makes this extra special for him is that he was cut by the Titans back in 2018. Throwing oneself in front of Derrick Henry, in my opinion, should earn you a Purple Heart from the US military. He's a big reason the Steelers improved to 6-0.
Put me in your Jock sock.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Again, you gotta subscribe to this YouTube channel. Without subscriptions, I vanish. Like the people in the photos in Back to the Future. I literally cease to exist if I don't get more subscribers.